The night that started it all. The night Papoose was supposedly training with Claressa late into the hours while Remy Ma was out of town on tour, trusting her husband, her ride or die, to hold down the fort. What happened between those ropes? Well, until yesterday, no one knew, and now the whole courtroom knows. So, let's unpack it. According to multiple anonymous insiders, who, let's be real, were probably just the courtroom janitors texting bloggers. From the hallway, Papoose was called to the witness stand as part of a procedural defense motion. Nothing dramatic, just a statement. But once he got up there, something changed. His voice trembled. His lawyer tried to intervene. Even the judge looked uncomfortable. And then boom, "I owe the truth to this court," Papoose said, "and to my wife. Even if it ends everything." He looked straight at Remy. She stiffened. Claressa didn't blink, and then he said it. The thing that made the courtroom go silent, it wasn't just training. He admitted that night with Claressa. It went further. Silence, then screaming, then Remy Ma collapsed. People rushed toward her. Court officers, called paramedics. The judge pounded his gavel like a drumline at a funeral, and Claressa still sipping that water like it was chamomile tea. Was this a setup? A carefully timed betrayal, or just a long overdue confession boiling over in a pressure cooker of secrets? Let's talk about motive. Because this wasn't just infidelity, this was emotional warfare. Remember, Remy Ma and Claressa Shields have a quiet history of rivalry. It goes back to those joint appearances in 2018, when Claressa was being called the female face of hip-hop, boxing, and Remy supposedly told producers not to book them on the same panel. Fast forward a few years, and Claressa is suspiciously everywhere. Papoose's charity events, backstage interviews, even low-key studio nights that no one thought to post until after Remy was tagged. But wait, the internet doesn't forget. There's that infamous clip from last year's Bet Weekend after party where Claressa and Papoose are seen exiting the same car at 3:17 a.m. Of course, they claimed it was a group ride, but in the footage, only 2 doors open. Remy wasn't even in the city. Still, most fans gave Papoose the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because this man built his entire career on being Remy's soldier, waiting for her during her prison bid, defending her against media slander, raising her kids like his own. If loyalty was a brand, Papoose was the ambassador until now. So, what changed? Well, according to people close to the couple, things haven't been right for a while. Sources say the dynamic between them shifted after Remy began aggressively rebranding, diving into mainstream TV, business ventures, and allegedly leaving Papoose behind creatively. She's been spotted at more events without him than with him lately, and whispers of a cooling-off period have circulated for months. Add in the fact that Claressa has been low-key attached to every brand Papoose is pushing these days. Well, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to see the writing on the ring. But let's circle back to that courtroom moment, because the most haunting part of it all wasn't just the confession. It was the aftermath. As Remy was helped up by paramedics, she didn't look at Papoose. Not once. But Claressa, she gave her one long stare. The kind that says, "Yeah, it happened, and I'm not sorry." Now, let's be clear. There's no official confirmation of what Papoose meant by "went further." No tape, no photos, just a cold confession, and the wreckage it left behind. But in the world of celebrity courtrooms, where truth and perception blur faster than a TMZ headline, the damage is already done. And fans, oh, they're in full meltdown mode. Twitter exploded within minutes. Remy Ma was trending worldwide. Some fans called it a betrayal. Others called it karma for past beefs. But everyone, and we mean everyone, had one question. What really happened that night with Claressa? And more importantly, why now? As news of Remy Ma's courtroom collapse spread like wildfire, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Within minutes, #Remy Ma, #Papoose, and #Claressa Shields were all trending in the top 5 worldwide. Memes hit the timeline before she even got off the stretcher. And like clockwork, the so-called exclusive insiders began crawling out of every digital sewer with their own versions of what really happened that night. Let's start with the big one. The leaked security footage supposedly obtained from a private gym in Jersey. Grainy green-tinted video emerged online that allegedly shows Papoose and Claressa alone. Lights dimmed, gloves off, leaning in close in a way that had nothing to do with sparring. The clip cuts off right as their hands touch. Coincidence, or just enough to keep the internet guessing, and guessing, and then came the audio clip. A mysterious 47-second recording of a man who sounds suspiciously like Papoose, whispering, "I never meant for it to happen like that. Don't tell Remy." Could it be fake? Of course, but this is Scoop Bazaar. We don't wait for confirmation. We analyze the vibe. And the vibe, oh, it's screaming guilty. Within hours, bloggers were citing anonymous sources who claimed that Papoose and Claressa had been secretly emotionally involved for over a year. One even alleged the two spent a weekend together at an Airbnb in Miami under aliases, the name used to book Mr. and Mrs. Black. Original, not really. Suspicious, very, but it wasn't just bloggers and fans fanning the flames. Even verified celebrities started chiming in. Funkmaster Flex tweeted, "Told y'all years ago, Papoose wasn't all clean. Ain't no man that patient without a side story." Cardi B posted a single eyeball emoji. That's it, just eyes. But coming from her, that was enough to send fans into full conspiracy mode. Screenshots of old Remy Cardi drama resurfaced within minutes, claiming this was all some long-played industry payback. And then came the text messages. Screenshots leaked from an iCloud backup supposedly belonging to Claressa herself, showing Papoose sending messages like, "Just say the word and I'll walk away from everything." One even had a time that matched the exact night of the alleged training session. Let's pause for a second and appreciate the beautiful chaos of it all. Remy Ma, the same woman who made a career off being unshakable, was now the subject of the messiest betrayal scandal in hip-hop since Jay and Baz elevator incident. Except this wasn't an elevator, this was a courthouse. And instead of a silent nod, we got a full-body collapse, paramedics, and a confession that'll be taught in Scandal School 101. But here's the real kicker. Sources close to Claressa are now claiming that she didn't come to court to support Papoose. She came to testify against Remy. Wait, what? Yep, you heard that right. While the internet was busy replaying the collapse, flipping out over that night, and wondering whether Claressa just snatched someone else's man. The real reason she was in court might have had nothing to do with romance. Some say she was prepared to reveal Remy's alleged threats over a prior altercation involving an undisclosed female rapper. According to leaked court documents, which may or may not be real, who cares? Claressa filed a sealed statement citing emotional intimidation and reputational sabotage from Ree's team. So, if Claressa came to speak against Remy and Papoose was forced to take the stand in that same hearing, was his confession a spontaneous meltdown or a strategic betrayal? Now, let's shift to Ree's inner circle, or what's left of it. Her longtime publicist, Tanya Martinez, was reportedly seen storming out of the courtroom mid-hearing, yelling into her phone, "This is not what we rehearsed." "Oh, you rehearsed this? Girl, what kind of press run were y'all planning?" Her stylist posted, then quickly deleted an Instagram story showing a destroyed makeup palette and the caption, "Can't glam rage." And her legal team. Rumor has it, 2 attorneys withdrew from the case shortly after Papoose's testimony, citing irreconcilable differences regarding client communication. Translation, they didn't sign up for this level of drama. Meanwhile, Papoose hasn't spoken to the press directly, but someone from his team did. A supposed family rep told bloggers that Papoose didn't plan to confess, but he cracked under pressure after seeing Claressa in the courtroom. Emotional impulse or guilt. Either way, it's the kind of slip that changes legacies. Let's not forget the fan theories now flooding the web. Some say this is all part of a bigger plot that Claressa set it up to destroy Remy's image while positioning herself as the new power woman next to Papoose. Others believe it was Remy's own team that leaked the affair, hoping to bury a bigger secret involving alleged financial fraud tied to her merch company. Read that right. There's even a theory that this whole courtroom fiasco is a distraction from a pending IRS audit. But hold up, don't log off yet, because just when you think it couldn't get messier, it does. An ex-stylist who once worked with Claressa and Remy dropped a bombshell in a now viral TikTok. She claims she walked in on Papoose and Claressa arguing in a dressing room at a shoot last fall, and Claressa allegedly screamed, "You said she didn't matter anymore." And guess what? That shoot took place 2 days after Remy posted a cryptic Instagram caption. "Loyalty is louder than lies. Watch who whispers when you ain't around." Y'all, we can't make this stuff up. Actually, we did. But still, it sounds good, right? At this point, even if 10% of this is true, the trust is gone. The internet's in flames. And the throne Remy once sat on, untouchable, undefeated, unshakable, is now cracked, crumbling, and potentially permanently vacant. And Claressa, oh, she's just watching it all from the front row, sipping her water like she's front row at a Floyd Mayweather fight. But what happens now? Where does this all go from here? Because remember, Remy didn't say a word after she got up. No statement, no glare, no threat, just a blank stare at the man she once believed would take a bullet for her. And now he's the one who fired the shot. As the dust settled on what might be the most jaw-dropping courtroom confession in hip-hop history, the aftermath wasn't just emotional, it was catastrophic. From legal firestorms to brand meltdowns and a possible criminal twist. The collapse of Remy Ma's image didn't just shake her marriage, it might have detonated her entire career. First up, the legal consequences. Following the courtroom chaos, multiple outlets began reporting that Remy Ma's legal team was blindsided by Papoose's testimony, not because of what he said, but because of what had triggered by publicly admitting to a deeper relationship with Claressa Shields. Papoose unintentionally opened the door for prosecutors to challenge the credibility of Ree's earlier alibi. Why? Because that alibi tied to a timeline of where she was on that night may now conflict with private communications she shared with both Papoose and Claressa. Translation: perjury charges could be on the table. And it doesn't end there. Court insiders now claim that new subpoenas have been filed targeting text messages, DMS, and even deleted WhatsApp threads between all three parties. Yep, the court wants everything. And they're not just looking at betrayal. They're investigating whether Claressa was pressured by Remy to stay silent on something far more sinister. Allegedly, that something involves an undisclosed settlement offer that Ree's team floated to Claressa months ago. A six-figure deal to resolve past misunderstandings, conveniently sent right after Claressa posted a cryptic tweet. Sometimes, silence is paid, not earned. Is that a coincidence or a failed hush money attempt? Meanwhile, in the court of public opinion, things have taken a much darker turn. Several of Ree's endorsement deals have quietly been paused or pulled altogether. A popular athletic brand she was scheduled to launch a sneaker collab with, gone. Streaming network that was greenlighting a reality series about her and Papoosia's unbreakable bond on indefinite hold. Even longtime industry friends are distancing themselves. One leaked DM shows a reality TV producer texting, "We can't have that energy around the franchise right now." That energy, of course, being a courtroom breakdown and a cheating scandal with a potential witness. Bad optics for the brand. And then came the financial hit. According to sources close to Remy's management team, the collapse of her joint venture line, a makeup brand she was launching under her daughter's name, could cost her over $2 million. In pre-launch investments, investors have allegedly pulled out, citing reputational instability and volatile partner dynamics. Translation: they don't want their blushes associated with the marriage gone nuclear. But what about Papoose? Surprisingly, he stayed completely silent since that devastating day in court. No statement, no video, no damage control, just silence. But that silence has sparked its own set of rumors. One particularly wild theory claims he's gone off the grid, allegedly staying in a private villa owned by Swiss Beats, who has stepped in to mediate between the two. Another theory, he's in talks with a publisher for a tell-all memoir titled Papoose Truth, Loyalty, Lies, and the One Night That Changed It All. Is it real? Who knows? But the mock cover is already circulating. And then there's Claressa Shields, the woman at the center of the storm, who, by the way, hasn't denied a single thing. Instead, she's been capitalizing on the moment. Within 48 hours of the courtroom confession, she posted a photo of herself in boxing gloves with the caption, "Some punches land harder than others, savage, absolutely savage." But behind the scenes, sources claim Claressa has lawyered up, not for defense, but for a potential legal suit. Her team is reportedly preparing to sue multiple gossip blogs and YouTubers who accused her of breaking up a marriage and being pregnant by Papoose, the latter rumor being so viral that even Wendy Williams had to address it in a flashback segment. So, no baby, no confirmation, but no denial either, which of course only fuels the fire. And speaking of fire, let's talk about the ultimate betrayal twist. Because just when everyone thought this scandal had reached its peak, someone leaked the courtroom surveillance audio. And let us tell you, it was wild. In the final minutes of the hearing, as Remy Ma was being carried out and Claressa stood motionless, a hot mic caught Papoose, saying, and we quote, "This was never about love, it was about truth." Boom. Mic drop, internet breaks. Some interpret it as him finally choosing honesty over loyalty. Others say it was a final jab at Remy, a woman who built her brand on realness, but allegedly lived behind layers of deception. Whatever it meant, the timing was devastating, and the audio leak became the final nail in the coffin for any hope of reconciliation. And where's Remy now? Well, according to insiders, she's checked out of the public eye. Allegedly, recovering in a private estate owned by a family friend. No phones, no press, just quiet. Some say she's refusing all interviews. Others claim she's prepping for a surprise documentary to clear her name. Knowing Remy, it could be both. But here's the part we didn't see coming. In a shocking postscript to the entire scandal late last night, Jasmine Dior, the original courtroom witness and daughter of one of Ree's past rivals, came forward in a live stream claiming she was the one who told Claressa to show up to court. Yep, according to Jasmine, Ree's been dodging karma for years, and I just gave karma her seat in the courtroom. She then played a short muffled recording of a conversation, where Claressa allegedly says, "I didn't want to be part of it, but you're right. She needs to answer for what she did." Wait, answer for what? No one knows for sure yet, but now there's buzz of a deeper scandal, one that connects old rivalries, courtroom betrayals, and possibly a long-buried crime. Ladies and gentlemen, this rabbit hole doesn't end with a broken marriage. It may just be the beginning of Remy Ma's complete undoing. So now the question isn't did it happen, it's how deep does it go? We started with a courtroom confession and ended up unraveling a possible love triangle. A betrayal plot, leaked surveillance audio, potential perjury, and now the emergence of Jasmine Dior, a woman many say has been plotting this moment for years. Remy Ma, the ride or die, the loyal lioness, the woman who waited, survived, and rebranded, collapsed not from physical pain, but from the emotional gut punch of truth. Papoose, the poet of loyalty, admitted under oath to a moment he can never take back. And Claressa Shields, unbothered, untouched, and maybe undefeated in more ways than one. But here's what we want to know, and what you need to answer in the comments. Did Claressa plan this whole thing? Was Papoose manipulated, or was he just done pretending? And what exactly is Remy hiding that's got witnesses whispering and insiders lawyering up? And let's not forget Jasmine Dior's final words. She needs to answer for what she did. Answer for what? Jasmine, what aren't we being told? Drop your theories in the comments and don't hold back. We want the wild ones, the receipts, the screenshots. We'll be watching. And if you thought this was wild, just wait, because the next hearing is already scheduled. And from what we're hearing, more names are about to be dragged into the storm. Hit that like, smash that subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next explosion, because on Scoop Bazaar, the drama is just getting started. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. What went down inside that courtroom wasn't just messy, it was nuclear. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. What went down inside that courtroom wasn't just messy, it was nuclear. We're talking Remy Ma, the Bronxorn rap queen who doesn't flinch for nobody. Collapsing, screaming right there on the floor. And why? Because her man, Papoose, stood up and dropped the kind of confession that shattered everything. You ever wonder what really happened between Papoose and Claressa Shields? Oh, we've all heard the whispers, the glances at the BET Awards, the training sessions that went late into the night. But yesterday, in front of a stunned courtroom, Papoose admitted it all. That night, the one Remy begged him never to mention. And what he said left Jaws on the floor and Remy on the ground. And Claressa, cool as ever, didn't blink, didn't move, just stared straight ahead like she knew this was coming. This ain't tabloid fiction. This is raw betrayal in real time, caught live in court. And we've got the breakdown that nobody else is daring to say. Stick around, because what we're about to show you will leave you wondering if Rhee's marriage was real at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just another celebrity scandal. This is the kind of courtroom chaos that makes Netflix executives drool. You've got betrayal, bombshells, and one very broken queen at the center of it all. Remy Ma collapsing in open court while her so-called King Papoose stood 10 toes down and confessed to something no one, and we mean no one, was prepared to hear. Now, let's rewind, because this wasn't just a random Tuesday in court. Oh no, this hearing was supposed to be procedural, a routine appearance regarding Remy's ongoing legal drama tied to an old assault case that resurfaced after a witness. Hello, Jasmine Dior, the daughter of one of Remy's former enemies, re-emerged with new allegations. But instead of keeping the spotlight on herself, Remy got blindsided by something way deeper, something personal. Picture this, the courtroom is tense, reporters are out front, cameras banned, but sketch artists ready. And there she is, Remy Ma, head held high, wearing that black power suit like she's bulletproof. But in the back corner, Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champ, seated quietly behind a pair of oversized sunglasses, sipping water like she didn't just show up to torch someone's marriage. And right beside her, Papoose, looking like a man caught between a grenade and a cliff. Now, to understand why this moment exploded the way it did, you need to know about that night. The night everyone in the industry whispers about, but no one dares confirm. The night that started it all. The night Papoose was supposedly training with Claressa late into the hours while Remy Ma was out of town on tour, trusting her husband, her ride or die, to hold down the fort. What happened between those ropes? Well, until yesterday, no one knew, and now the whole courtroom knows. So, let's unpack it. According to multiple anonymous insiders, who, let's be real, were probably just the courtroom janitors texting bloggers. From the hallway, Papoose was called to the witness stand as part of a procedural defense motion. Nothing dramatic, just a statement. But once he got up there, something changed. His voice trembled. His lawyer tried to intervene. Even the judge looked uncomfortable. And then boom, I owe the truth to this court, Papoose said, and to my wife. Even if it ends everything. He looked straight at Remy. She stiffened. Claressa didn't blink, and then he said it. The thing that made the courtroom go silent, it wasn't just training. He admitted that night with Claressa. It went further. Silence, then screaming, then Remy Ma collapsed. People rushed toward her. Court officers called paramedics.